A life sentence is not the end of a story. Sometimes it is the setup. Deep inside Abuja, in a building that has swallowed more Nigerian hope than any prison wall, the Supreme Court sent a notification. Quiet, procedural, the kind of communication that arrives like an invoice and detonates like a verdict. Aloy Ejimako, the man carrying NNAMDI KANU'S legal fate on his back, had filed an appeal against IPOB's designation as a terrorist organization. That was 2025. And in the machinery of Nigerian justice, where cases hibernate for years like debts nobody collects, even the lawyer had moved on to other battles. Until the court reminded him, "We have not forgotten." Here is what they do not want you to sit with long enough to understand. Before we enter the Supreme Court chamber, let us stand in the street for a moment. In Nigeria, justice does not move, it is moved. It requires pressure, persistence, and the kind of lawyers who treat courtrooms like second homes and appeals like breathing. Ejimako has been fighting on every front simultaneously. The Federal High Court, the Court of Appeal, international bodies, because NNAMDI KANU'S situation is not a single case. It is a legal war fought across multiple theaters at once. A man can be forgiven for misplacing a battle when he is fighting an entire campaign. But here is the architecture of what is now in motion. In 2017, the Buhari administration designated IPOB a terrorist organization, a classification that has since become the legal spine of every charge pinning KANU to a life sentence. Ejimako challenged that designation. The Supreme Court received the appeal, and now the court has moved, signaling that a hearing is imminent. The question nobody is asking loudly enough is this: what happens to the conviction if the foundation of the conviction collapses? The Nigerian proverb says, "When the music changes, so must the dance." If the Supreme Court removes the terrorist label from IPOB, not a guarantee but now a live legal possibility, then the charge that KANU led a terrorist organization becomes at minimum illegally contested. A life sentence handed down on that specific premise does not simply survive such a ruling untouched, it bleeds. This is not speculation dressed as journalism. This is procedure. Criminal convictions built on institutional designations are vulnerable to the fate of those designations. And KANU'S lawyers know this. The Southeast knows this. And now, because a court clerk sent a notification that reminded one man of one appeal, the Nigerian government knows that the clock is no longer frozen. 4 stories broke yesterday. 1 Supreme Court movement, 1 diaspora Senate bid, 1 false ID card claim quietly exposed, and 1 community crying for protection from visitors who became occupiers. Each story is a pressure point on a system that survives by keeping Nigerians overwhelmed, too much noise to find the signal. The signal is in Abuja, in a courtroom, on a docket that nobody stamped closed. Watch this space, because in Nigeria, the most dangerous thing a court can do is remember.